Hi. Okay, so today I want to talk a little bit about using the seasons to your advantage to heal and how a seasonal approach to healing makes a lot of sense. So one of the things, there's a lot of raw vegans out there, there's a lot of people in ketosis, there's a lot of people doing paleo, and they're doing these things all year long, 365 days a year. And just for example, if you want to take a look at what I'm drinking today, I'm drinking like a warming type drink. It's got coconut milk in it, pumpkin, a date, it's got cinnamon, cloves, and it's all blended up together and it tastes delicious and it's so warming because it's so cold outside and it's perfect. And these are the type of drinks that you want and you kind of crave in the fall and winter months. The pumpkins come out, the apples come out in the fall. Don't deny yourself the foods of the seasons. They're there to help you and to heal you. They have the right microbes on them. They've got the right, everything about them is right for that season. They're fresh, they've got everything growing on them that you need inside your body. So nature's not silly. It's sort of planned it to be having wonderful warming, rich, full-bodied things in the fall and winter, and very light, refreshing, lots of fruits and vegetables, and in the summer, and salads. As great as a salad is, and as many has much potential as this bowl of amazing lettuces and vegetables and all mixed up together is for you, when you think about eating one in the winter, that's not really what you want. You want soups and stews, and nature designed it this way. In the summer, you do feel like digging into that bowl of salad and having, letting that fill you up. So I just want to put it out there that becoming a dogma to a certain type of dietary plan year round is a mistake. Even if it's the most nutritious food, even if it's the most helpful healing food. Nature kind of designed it that we are meant to eat I'm going to go through my list here in a minute, but heavier foods in the winter, and fats and meats and, root vegetables, some of those grains that can be stored away. These types of foods are meant to be eaten in the winter because you don't have access to the fruits and vegetables. And then in the spring, you want to be eating those sprouts, and all kinds of wonderful things are coming out. Everything's sprouting. So thinking fresh, sprouting greens. In the summer, we're getting our harvest. We're getting tons and tons of vegetables being harvested. These are the types of foods that we want to eat. And similarly to sleep, I just want to throw that out there for sleeping. The season is so much shorter in the winter than it is in the summer. The bodies were designed to hunker down, to hibernate, to rest, to heal, to rejuvenate. The sun goes down at like 5 o'clock in the winter. We aren't meant to be out exercising in the evenings when it's dark out. That is not what nature meant us to do. So you don't want to come home, go to the gym when it's pitch dark out. In the winter, it's not what we're meant to do. We're supposed to wake up with the sun, get outside during the daylight hours. And in the summer, we have this amazing window where we're meant to be outside, working, moving, exercising, working the land, all these types of wonderful activities that we're meant to be out from the minute the sun rises until it sets, and we get this long day. So nature wanted us to use all this energy in the summer and conserve it in the winter, So again, and that's why starches are available in the fall and the winter. We need those sugars and everything to help, us gain weight and fat, and that wouldn't be a good diet to eat all year round, because then you would just blow up like a balloon. You're not meant to eat them when that runs out in the spring. They're not available for harvest. These aren't the types of foods you are supposed to be eating. So it's like that with exercise, it's like that with food, and it's like that with sleep. You know, you need more sleep in the winter. You need to rest more, sleep in a little longer, go to bed earlier, hunker down. Sure, you can go outside and do your exercise in the cold, and some good fresh air is great for you during the daylight hours. But it's not meant to be the same kinds of activities as you were doing in the summer ancestrally. That's just not how nature designed it. So I'm just going to go through some of my lists of the ultimate, if you've watched the video of the ultimate diet that I think is the best healing diet for humans, and it lists all the food on there. I just want to talk about a seasonal approach to this diet. So in the winter, you've got nuts and seeds, and this is when these are available. They're sort of harvested in the fall. This is when you see the animals gathering them and the squirrels, and they take them and they store really well. But animals don't keep those for the next season, for summer. You know, they go through them and then they're done them. And then they move on to other foods that are starting to come out in the spring and summer. And again, they start to collect them in the fall for the winter. So nuts and seeds are great, particularly in the fall and winter months, like the sesame seeds, pumpkin seeds, flax seeds, walnuts, almonds, sunflower seeds, all great choices, especially for fall and winter. So load up on them. It's good fats for the body. They are meant to be eaten in those seasons, especially when they're fresh and raw and sprouted. Tubers, this is the section, and root vegetables of another fall and winter. They're winter time vegetables to eat. So we have our sweet potatoes, which are one of the best, you know, so that's what I would go for. But beets, sweet potatoes, you know, if you're eating regular potatoes, if you're eating nightshades, this is the time to do it. So all these kinds of, even carrots, these kinds of vegetables are meant to be eaten in the fall and winter months. Then we have our vegetables, and broccoli, asparagus, Brussels sprouts, carrots, all these kinds of vegetables are meant to be eaten in the fall and winter, and they're meant to be cooked or steamed. So this is where a raw vegan diet sort of, it's going against nature. You want to warm these foods, cook them, steam them, get out the nutritional value out of them, help to digest them a little bit better, because this is what we need to have happen in our microbiome in the winter months. So we want to kind of be cooking these foods, steaming them, lightly steaming them, putting them in soups and stews. The leafy greens, we have lettuce, watercress, sprouts, all these kinds of things. They're spring. They're springtime and summertime greens to eat. You don't really want to cook them. Nobody thinks of cooking lettuce or cooking watercress or cooking these types of things. Eat them in the spring and eat them in the summer, and eat them full and lush, and pack your bowls full of them, juice them, put them in smoothies. That's when you want to be eating those types of foods. But you do have, and spinach too, but you do have things like beet greens and Swiss chard and rainbow chard and kale. They're more winter and fall type vegetables because they can be stored and preserved, and you need to kind of heat them. They are best for heating. They have a lot of things in them that can't be broken down, like oxalates. So you want to heat these particular greens, and you know that's when they come out. When you just think about the beet greens or the Swiss chard, it comes out in the fall. That's when you harvest it. You cook it. You add it to stews that are preserved and saved for the winter months. So you can go ahead and eat those in the fall and the winter for your greens, because it's a better seasonal approach than just eating your lettuce. And the more springtime greens. For fruit, berries. They're a fall-time food. That's when you want to be eating. Late summer and fall, berries. We're meant to be eating berries, getting all those antioxidants that we're going to need for the winter months, and the sugar in our body that we're going to need to store for the winter months. But so, I mean, you can go ahead and eat those in the winter too, as well as avocados, because they are harvested in other places in the winter, Like, well, not so much berries, but avocados are harvested more in the winter in tropical places. And some berries continue to grow, in the winter in other regions. So they can be a little more, they've got a lot of, especially avocados, they have a lot of fat in them. They're good for you for the fall and winter months. So they're more like of an all season type of thing, I think, but they're more geared towards summer and fall than anything. For your animal products, this is when you want to be eating these types of foods in the winter. Your chicken and beef and lamb and all these types of red meats. I mean, this is when traditionally we would hunt these things. We would hunt great big game because we would need it for the winter months. We would eat it, store it. We don't want to be out there every single day catching, one little thing. Like fish, even fish. I mean, you would go out and catch fish, but that's more like a summertime, fall time thing to be eating. So, and of course, you can have fish in the winter because you can ice fish. So, the meat is particularly good in the fall and winter. This is when nature wanted us to eat it, to bulk up, to get our fat up there, our protein. We need it to revive our bodies. Again, seafood is more summer and like shrimp and these types of things. They're great in the fall and they're great in the spring and summer. And just think about when they're naturally harvested. When are they naturally being harvested? And that's kind of when you want to eat them most. But they are harvested in other places all over the world all year round. So if they're shipped fresh and they come from that locale, it's a good sign to eat them. And then, you want to include, your other things that you can. So like eggs, again, think about when things are hatching, when eggs are out, that's kind of when you want to load up on your eggs as well. Because nobody's laying eggs in the winter. I mean, they're just not. Animals aren't laying eggs in the winter. So, when you start to think of food allergies arising, like eggs and, I don't know, wheat and milk and all the major allergens, perhaps we just don't have the right enzymes in our body, the right bacteria, the right microbiome to digest them in those seasons. And it's not necessarily the fault of that food, but we just don't have the access to be able to break it down, eaten out a season. So if you try to eat like grains or legumes or something in the summer, we just don't have the enzymes for that. Likewise, when you're trying to eat light salads and fruits all the time, you don't have the enzymes for that. Except when you actually go all raw vegan or go keto, your body adapts. So they say like vegan adapted or keto adapted. If you're raw vegan and you continually do that, you're missing a lot of benefit and you're missing the right things for your nutritional profile, but your body will adapt to that over time. And then if you go to eat something cooked, you get really ill. Not because cooked food is bad, but because you don't have the proper enzymes, you don't have the right bacteria in your gut, you don't have anything to break it down. So why wouldn't you get sick? So this is why it's important also to rotate your foods and to eat seasonally, because you don't want to, once you start eating a certain way forever, to lose the ability to digest other things and to get all the bacteria that comes along with those foods in your gut and to make up this sort of ecosystem in your gut, which is really important, because especially if you're not living by the equator or if you're not living up in the Arctic, you want to take advantage of what's around you and be more at one with your location and your geography and what's going on. And please don't deny yourselves the foods of the season. Like, oh, I'm in keto. It's the middle of summer. It's the end of summer. All the berries are out. Oh my God, would I kill for a strawberry? All my tomatoes are coming off of my vine, but I can't eat them. That's not what you want to be doing. You want to eat those. Do not deny yourself. Likewise, when you're being a raw vegan and it's wintertime and you just feel like a warm soup or a stew, I mean, this is your body's way of telling you what you need. You don't want to be denying yourself and, oh, I gotta eat a salad, another salad in the middle of winter. And you want like a nice warming drink. You don't necessarily want a fresh juice. You do want all your fruits and vegetables every day, but there's particular fruits and vegetables that go better with the seasons. So I just wanted to say that. And I wanted to say that's likewise with nutrition, as it is with exercise, as it is with sleep. And, you know, I just want to point out that a seasonal approach to healing varies just a little bit. In conjunction with what we think is the best thing to be putting in our body and what science tells us is the absolute best thing. Sometimes the science misses the little nuances and nature knows best as to what to eat. Actually, you know, there's many studies done that, you know, even if you're giving, like say you're giving a rat like the best diet possible, but it's not its natural diet. Same with a cat. You're giving a cat, you know, sweet potatoes when it wants to eat mice, or you're giving, you know, you have to be aware of what the natural diet of the species is, also what the seasons are, and you want more of a well-rounded approach to healing, and really taking into account the seasons. And get out there in the fresh air as often as you can. Breathe the winter air, breathe the summer air, but in the summer stay out as long as you can, and in the winter come in, get cozy, sleep more, rest more, socialize more, you know, warm up more. These are the types of things that we want to be doing year round, that our body expects us to be doing, that our genetics expect us to be doing, and that I believe will yield the best results in healing over the long term, and it's the best long-term approach to health. So yes, while you want to eat all those wonderful foods, you also want to not to disregard the seasonal approach to eating, healing, sleeping, exercising that goes along with it. So just be aware of the seasons, do your best. You don't want to be too strict, over strict. Do your best to get as many fruits and vegetables as you can in, healthy fats, well-rounded diet, lots of good protein, and in each season, but be mindful of the season and gear yourself more towards the season. So hope this has been helpful. I'll talk to you soon.